All right, good morning and welcome back to our channel, Princesses. Today is the 12th of June 2025, and we thank the Lord for His goodness. We thank the Lord for His blessings upon us. We thank the Lord also for the edging close of our expectation, just as we see right before us, that the green light is just right before us, and everything we have anticipated in time, we can beginning to see that everything is aligning according to God's perfect order. Now, I would like to speak about a number of things that actually created this liberty for us and brought us to the level where we are this morning. But the whole consensus of my submission this morning centered around the good news that is just around us, and we believe that we have not waited in vain. Now, the long moment finally arrived, and it marks a powerful turning point in the history of grant disbursement in our nation. After months of confusion, disagreements, and multiple petitions, a major breakthrough finally happened. That turning point took place during a very important and strategic meeting that was held at the presidential villa. It was there that clarity, direction, and unity was achieved regarding what or who should handle the disbursement and these grant funds. Now, for many months, there had been serious issues between different grant handlers with accusations, power struggles, lack of agreement on who had the right to disburse the funds to the beneficiaries. And this actually caused some unnecessary delays, and the process also cast some doubt on the future of the entire process. Some beneficiaries, due to that, lost hope, some believing that the grant might never be released again. And some other persons also sent petitions to government agencies to intervene and take control. It was a tense and uncertain time, but everything changed at the villa. That's what I want to break through for you, and all the processes that actually took place there. During the meeting, all the key stakeholders, including the top government officials, the apex grant handlers, the representatives from relevant financial bodies and security agencies like the EFCC, they came together to make a final decision. That meeting wasn't just a formality, it was a game changer right in there. For the first time, everyone agreed on a clear path forward. And the most important aspect of the meeting was the decision to give one apex grant handler the authority to oversee the disbursement process to other grant handlers. And this step actually brought some level of structure and trust in the process. The apex grant handler was carefully selected, and the presidency gave their full support to this choice. It was also agreed that other certified grant handlers will still have access to disburse the grant to their beneficiaries under the supervision of the apex grant handler. And this means that no group would be left behind, and no beneficiary will be denied their entitlement. Now, the good thing also is that this move ended the power tussle and gave all the parties a sense of belonging. In other words, everyone now has a role, but there is a clear order, and accountability is the order. Many people who wrote petitions to the government about the confusion in the grant process, the fraud, the concerns, the favoritisms, the possible diversion of funds and all that, with the new arrangement, most of those concerns have been addressed, and the presidency listened. They responded also wisely. They saw the need to avoid a repeat of past mistakes and to protect the integrity of the grant. By giving full access to the apex grant handler and making room for other handlers to still participate, the government has calmed the nerves and created a transparent structure that can be monitored and evaluated. Now, this robust engagement not only cleared the air, but it brought forth a major breakthrough where a singular apex grant handler was unanimously recognized and empowered with full clearance and logistical authority to spearhead the disbursement cycle. And this decision, though a little bit stern, it was also backed by empirical evaluation and strategic foresight, which eliminated some duplications of efforts, and it ensured a central coordination from which all other secondary grant handlers can now operate under this unified approach and also protocol. So we also understood that some petitions were written to the government, which a chapter of it now had been closed, and a lot of petitions actually trailed all of the things that happened there. They submitted it to the government agencies, including the office of the presidency, which alleged some foul play by grant handlers. And these petitions, though actually some of them were born out of genuine concern for the masses, but that alone complicated the process, because some investigative bodies and public scrutiny at sensitive stages of planning were also brought in. So, but the outcome of that meeting has rendered the petitions obsolete. I think that is to the glory of God. Now, the government, particularly the presidency, has now taken a firm yet inclusive stance in what has been described by many stakeholders as a wise and sensitive action, a wise and sensitive decision. The presidency has not only endorsed the apex handler or the apex grant handler with full access, but it has also mandated inclusive participation, which ensures that no legitimate grant handler is left out of the process, and no genuine beneficiary is also denied their rightful entitlement. So this striking of balance actually ensures that there is a centralized control and decentralized execution, which would ensure there is fairness, there is equity, and there is no monopoly of power. And that in itself has driven the next phase of this grant initiative process. So perhaps most uplifting development of all, from all of these things that happened within the VNA sector, is the formal activation of the code, the access code that was granted to the grant handlers. The apex handler, after passing due diligence and compliance benchmarks, including some financial transparency tests, anti-fraud systems, and data protection protocols, he has now been granted full system access to initiate the disbursement. And what this means is very simple, but very powerful also. The administrative blocks that have been lifted is final and total. So grant disbursement is no longer a matter of speculation within this country. It is now a matter of execution. And further to that, all the subordinate handlers who have been profiled and verified and also included in the Memorandum of Understanding are being granted the technical access to begin coordinated disbursement under the apex handlers supervision and oversight. And this collaboration right now is to avoid fragmentation, which ensures that every legitimate beneficiary who have subscribed across all clusters, across zones within the country and categories, that they receive their due allocation in a very seamless manner. So for the countdown, we know that the countdown has already begun for the expectant beneficiaries. Millions of whom have waited with resilience and patience over time, and sometimes some of them are so anxious, anxiety sets in. But the good news could not come at a better time. But now, comprehensive profiling of beneficiaries has been concluded across all the registered platforms. And what this means is that all the entries, the verification checks, the code generations have all been finalized. So beginning from next week, the actual disbursement of funds is going to commence in phased clusters, and the priority will be given to clusters whose verifications concluded earliest, then followed by other groups in a strategic but very swift rollout that is designed to reach all beneficiaries within the shortest window possible. Nobody is going to be left behind as long as you are legitimately registered and all your credentials are intact. Now, the codes, when you hear the code actually, what does it really infer? It serves as a digital transaction signatures for grant handlers, which have already been issued to qualified grant handees. Now, these codes are encrypted, and they are also tied to both the bank interfaces and the National Grant Clearinghouse databases. This is to ensure that the disbursement follows a direct, traceable, and secure route. And every code that is activated is time-stamped and geo-tracked. This is meant to ensure traceability and accountability so that your code can be tied to everything, every of your route that you submitted, your document and the fund that was given to you to oversee. Now, we understood the issue of the EFCC oversight, which is also part of the Anti-Fraud Memorandum of Understanding. A noteworthy outcome of one of the VILA meeting proceedings was the formal adoption of this MOU between the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, which is the EFCC, and the various stakeholders in the grant system. The MOU is a proactive measure that was designed to eliminate every risk factors that was associated with fund mismanagement, the ghost beneficiaries, the diversion and exploitative middlemen in between these sectors. So the EFCC is meant to be working hand in hand with the apex handlers and the verified sub-handlers also to monitor the financial inflow, the audit disbursement trails, and receive real-time report on funds movements, the way it goes out and comes in, funds distribution protocols. The EFCC has to act as a middleman between the grant handlers and the government body to ensure that no beneficiary is short-circuited. So this is a time to celebrate. From delay to delivery, the journey has not been easy. My brothers and sisters, there have been moments of confusions, moments of misinformation, dashed hopes, sometimes emotional fatigues. However, it is now very safe to say that the tides have finally turned. This is indeed a time of celebration, not just because the funds are about to be released to us, but because a system that was once fraught with fragmentation has now found unity. It has found coordination and governmental backing as well. So it is also a moment of gratitude to God and to those who refused to give up in all the entire story. Those who continue to ask questions, those who raise petitions, those who push for clarity. The system had you. The presidency acted in response. And now, the grant handlers have been empowered to deliver. For the beneficiaries, the message is very clear. Remain very vigilant. Stay informed and prepare for confirmation of disbursement within the coming days. Monitor this official channel. Beware of imposters or fraudulent third parties who may attempt still at the nick of this disbursement to exploit this moment of transition for you and your family, because a new dawn in grant distribution is here. That VILA meeting, I kept making reference to the VILA meeting. In fact, that was where the old pilgrimage began and ended. It was a deciding moment. It was a place of resolution. The meeting and its outcomes actually symbolize more than just the administrative resolution that took place there. It was a beginning of a new dawn. A dawn where disbursement was not just promised, but it was emphasized and concluded. It was a place where the grant-handlers were not just named, but they were empowered to deliver. And the government does not just observe this process, but they led with wisdom. And in all things, above all, this is a victory for everyone. It's a time of equity, it's a time of transparency, and it's a time of collective responsibility for every one of us. To every expectant beneficiaries, this is your moment. Your patience is being rewarded right now. Your time has come. I am bold to say congratulations once again, because the disbursement is not only real, it is finally here and here with us. So in case you're right on this channel and you are still doubting whether the disbursement is going to come to pass or is going to fail, I'm here to shock you that it died years ago, but it resurrected immediately. When the time you felt that everything has closed, the same way it felt like Satan thought he killed Jesus Christ. He thought he has ended his life. He never knew that he died so that he could set him free to live in my heart. Because if he did not die, I won't be Holy Ghost filled. You know what it means? So it was everything that appears like a disappointment was actually a blessing in disguise. And that is exactly how it is here. This grant died years ago, but resurrected again to set us free, to get us into the heaven of rest that we've always been anticipating for. And so I could say confidently and boldly that you have entered into your season. You have entered into your moment by all of these declarations, by the decision that happened at the villa. Everything, the resolutions, the victory, the great disbursement was effected in the realm of the spirit. And we were seeing delay at his outside here, but in the realm of the spirit, it was concluded. It was all concluded. So I congratulate you, fathers, mothers, widows, orphans, single mothers, single fathers. When we talk about widow, we talk about widowers too, because everyone is completed on this planet. So I want to congratulate you. Massive congratulations to everyone who have stayed through to the end of this journey. It's going to end in praise. And I congratulate you in advance. This is Princess Seed Channel. In case you are new, do punch in the subscribe button and also hit the bell. Our second channel, the link is also at the comment section pinned down there. Try and join that, because in few days time we'll also be sending some more messages there so that you could also be abreasted with that information coming from that organ. So subscribe to the channel. It's an alternative channel. It's a backup page. Do more. When we drop one there, you see one there. Thank you very much. We love you and we got your back. Bye for now.